What's up, Cougs? Welcome back to Coug on the Clock. I'm Gunnar Miller.
And I'm Hunter Snyder.
Today we'll look at WSU Football recap versus the Ducks and women's soccer performance in the first round of the College Cup.
Along with the Seahawks versus Packers recap and both of our biggest surprises from the NBA so far this season. Let's get into the show.
So with our first topic of the day, we got WSU versus Oregon recap for football. Despite grabbing momentum before halftime, the Cougs lose this one 38-24. Definitely a frustrating game as the defense could not stop Anthony Brown as he led Oregon with passing yards and rushing yards. What's your thoughts?
I thought we had a chance going into the game. I thought Oregon is overrated going into the entire season. Seeing them at number 3 is just weird. But after halftime, it just started to slip away from us, and it was just looking less and less promising throughout the game. So
yeah, I agree 100% about them being overrated. I never thought they were a third-ranked team. I know they beat Wazoo, but a third-ranked team, they started off pretty slow in my mind, and I never thought Oregon was a top 4 team. I still feel like Cincinnati should be up there, but that's my own opinion. In this one, not only did our defense struggle, Delora struggled again, which I can give him some credit because Oregon is one of the top defenses in the nation as he threw 2 picks, which were pretty wacky picks in my mind.
Yeah, they were iffy throws, I would say. Like, not the greatest decisions on his part.
Yeah, and one thing I was looking at through this game, and I was looking at stats and stuff, we only fed Borghi 10 times. And all those 10 rushes, he had more than, I believe, 3 yards.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I didn't even think about that, but like Borghi did not get many touches, but when he did, he was effective. So yeah, it kind of shows that maybe we need to rethink our offensive plan going in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Borghi should be always our number 1 priority. I feel like he's one of the best running backs in the Pac-12 and arguably maybe nation.
He has that potential.
Yeah, he does have that potential.
This year, it's been a little iffy with him still. He has
100%.
some explosive plays and then some that aren't quite as good. But
100%. There was hope for the first half when WSU quickly struck 2 touchdowns after getting that turnover. What was your thoughts about that?
I think that if we had kept the momentum, we probably would have actually won. I had been saying if we'd won, we would have won by more than 1 score. We were not going to be Oregon in a 1-score game, but I just think that we didn't do a great job at keeping our foot on the gas.
Yeah, and one thing I was thinking about was just like, no, never mind.
Okay.
Just that Oregon was overrated in my mind, and that's all there is to it. And with that, let's go into our next game against U of A. What do you think the score is going to be of that game?
I mean, I want to say it's going to be 100-0 because it's U of A, and if we lose anything less than 2 scores, it's going to be ugly for us. But I'm going to say 38-14 U of A. Or was it?
I would say WSU 40-28 in this one. I feel like we can give up some garbage touchdowns towards the end of the game, but we'll ultimately be very well in my mind. So with that, thank you, Alex.
Good timing.
With that, let's go into our next topic, which is WSU women's soccer. They defeated the Montana Grizzlies 3-0 in the first round of the College Cup, and they will advance to play Tennessee in the second round. What's your thoughts about the soccer team?
So I actually haven't been paying attention to them too much this year. I'm going to start going to the games. They're entertaining to go to when I have gone. I saw that they're 2 wins away from having the most wins in their program's history, so we want to just keep seeing that happen.
Of course, and they did meet Tennessee the year they went to the Final Four, and they did beat them in penalty kicks. So Tennessee versus WSU is going to be a good game in the second round.
A little bit of a rematch game.
Yeah, and it's Tennessee's revenge game. So it's definitely interesting to see that they're the SEC champions of women's soccer. So yeah, we'll definitely see. Do you think WSU could make a run?
I think if they beat Tennessee, they're going to go deep into the College Cup. But this game is vital. Obviously, if they lose, they're not going to go any further. But I think that they could make it to the finals if they beat Tennessee this week.
Yeah, 100% with like what you said. We could make a deep run if we beat Tennessee because Tennessee is actually ranked number 1 in our little bracket part of the College Cup. So if we beat them, I think we could make another run to at least the Elite 8.
Yeah.
So, but in all due honesty, I've looked at Tennessee and they look very good this year. So it's going to be very tough for Wazoo to beat them. But definitely interesting to look into that as the week goes on. And shout out to Gig Harbor's own Alyssa Gray. She's been one of our most stud players on the team as week in and week out. She just keeps getting better, and she's only a sophomore, so she's only going to get better.
We got some time on that too, yeah.
Yeah. It's always nice to see young players develop and see them for the future with the Cougs. So it's always nice to know that your sports program will always have a bright future with stud players, young stud players. So, yeah, that's all I really have to talk about with women's soccer. What about you?
I mean, like I said, I haven't been catching up with it too much this season, but if we can make a run, we're gonna if we beat Tennessee this week, we're making a run. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. Let's get in our next topic, which is the Seahawks versus Packers. This one was a very interesting game as Seattle was shut out for the first time in 9 years, 17-0 by the Green Bay Packers. I felt like Seattle's defense played so much better than they ever have before, holding Rodgers to an interception and no touchdowns.
Jamal Adams got an interception, his first as a Seahawk, tying Vince Wilfork for career interceptions. That's a big number. But I don't know, it was just our offense couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, I think personally, I feel like Russell Wilson came back
a little prematurely.
Yeah, I think he came back way too early. I know he has that motivation. He's a grinder and all that type of good stuff, but he just wants to be back and play for us. But I always feel comfortable when Russell Wilson, even if he has one hand, I always feel comfortable with Russell Wilson behind the snap. I
would agree with that, but it was just, I think he was also rusty after missing 3 or 4 weeks. So it's just like I think next week we'll see against the Cardinals what he actually can do, having an actual week of preparation and everything. So we'll see with that.
Yeah, and A.J. Dillon scoring 2 touchdowns for the Green Bay Packers. He looks good, especially with Aaron Jones getting hurt in that game. He's definitely going to be the go-to guy from the season on out if Aaron Jones' injury is that bad.
Yeah, if it's long-term. A.J. Dillon was looking like a monster that game, though.
Yeah, he was running all over the Seattle. And, I mean, with Pete Carroll, you are not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Pete, I don't know what's going on. Your coaching, I feel like, is behind you. You need to figure out a new defensive game plan. It might have worked this week, but the snow may have threw off Green Bay too.
And Aaron Rodgers coming off of COVID too in that cold weather was not helpful for him.
Both teams look sloppy offensively, in my opinion. And both have important games coming forward as Seattle still has divisional matchups with the Cardinals, Rams, and the Niners. So that could play into playoffs soon, and hopefully the Seahawks can get it together.
What do you think about this game for the next week, though, Seahawks-Cardinals?
Depending on who plays, if Murray plays, I am a little worried. Our defense never plays well against Kyler Murray.
Never.
He'll run all over us. But if Colt McCoy or their third string plays, I'm a little bit more confident with Seattle.
I agree. I'm going to that game in person, so if I see a Kyler Murray walking on the field, I am not going to be too pumped about that. But yeah.
It'll definitely be a fun game to go watch for you.
Maybe a little cold, but that's all right.
Yeah, and let's. That's all I have to say about that. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me as well.
All right, let's go into the NBA, and we both have big surprises from NBA teams this year. Mine is the Chicago Bulls. Coming into this year, the Chicago Bulls were favored to be the 9th seed. They were supposed to be in the play-in, but they look like a top-tier team.
They're looking good this season.
And Alex Caruso being a meme in L.A. and showing what he's really capable of in Chicago, just absolutely crossing everyone up and just getting buckets and playing well defensively. Alex Caruso is one of the more exciting players. And you got Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo's been playing great.
Yeah, Lonzo looks great. And you got DeMar DeRozan, who's been looking good, and Zach LaVine
is
the
always
exciting player he is. So, yeah, I think if the Bulls continue to play like this, they could definitely be a Eastern Conference championship
semifinal
team.
Championship. Yeah.
Yeah, they look amazing. Well, what's your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise is the team that's actually above Chicago by half a game right now, the Washington Wizards. I did not think that they were going to be as good as they are right now, being number 1 in the East. Like, it's kind of surreal in that. Like last year, they were one of the worst teams in the NBA for a period last year, and then they made the play-in game, or was it the playoffs?
I believe they actually got to the playoffs and they played against the Sixers, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Do not fact check me on that one, but.
Yeah, we'll fact check you. But yeah, I think like they lost Russell Westbrook via trade to the Lakers this season, and everyone thought that they were still going to be contenders, but maybe like a 6th seed. But like they've been surprising everybody, I'd say.
Yeah, and
Kyle
talking.
Kuzma is also having a resurgence to his career, it seems like.
Yeah, 100%. And literally, going a little off topic, the LA Lakers. Are you surprised at the record right now? I know LeBron's hurt and all that.
I mean, if this team was like the Lakers in like 2013 to 2014, they would be 82-0. But they are I would say they're washed a little bit, or just old. Like they don't have a lot of stamina. But I don't know. That's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, getting old players and veterans is good, but when they're washed, and Melo's looking great.
Melo's looking good, but I don't know. Like Dwight Howard isn't doing much.
He's not a good big man as of right now. He could show us later on in the season once LeBron gets back and healthy, and they could make another push. I still think the Lakers are going to be a top 5 seed.
Yeah, they'll manage to squeak their way into the top 5.
Although they were in the playoff game, or the play-in game last year, so we'll definitely see how that goes. And little message to Damian Lillard: please get out of Portland. You need to go to a contender, with all due respect. So, yeah, that's all we have for that topic.
Today also marks what is it? In 1949, on November 18th, Jackie Robinson won the NL MVP for the Brooklyn Dodgers. So happy anniversaries for that.
Yeah, you got to respect Jackie Robinson. He broke the race barrier within baseball, and he's just one of the best players to ever exist on the field. So,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, he's just an all-time great, and we respect him for all he did for the game of baseball. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, you have a birthday you want to shout out
Oh, yeah.
today.
Shout out to Nathan Kress, also known as Freddie from iCarly. Happy birthday, Nathan. We all loved you on iCarly.
Yeah, iCarly was a big part of my childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my sister, I remember we would air it on Nick, or was it Nick?
It was on Nick.
Yeah, we would air on Nick, and then we'd watch it together. So always great memories with her, with that, and so.
Freddie's our little cameraman over there. You know, nobody dislikes Freddie. He's one of the best characters in that.
Yeah, 100%. Freddie is
Freddie and Spencer.
top tier.
Top tier.
Or not cartoon, but a top tier kids show character in my mind.
Oh yeah, and now there's the new one too. There's the new iCarly, but
yeah,
I have not checked that out.
I have not checked that out either. I'm not gonna pay money for Paramount Plus or whatever it is.
Well, I signed up for Paramount Plus to watch Seahawks games.
Okay,
and I
fair.
forgot. I don't know how to cancel it now, so I will
you gotta
eventually
watch
get
that.
that on my schedule.
All right, 100%.
That's all we have this week. Make sure to follow our Twitter, WSU Unorthodox, and our Instagram, unorthodox.sports. With that, I'm Hunter Snyder.
And I'm Gunnar Miller. Have a great week and break. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs!
Ow.
Ah!